What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, again with another one of them videos. And, yeah, I just want to make a video about the extra deck staples. Somebody commented they wanted extra deck staples. The thing is, with the extra deck, there's not really any staples because it's really deck dependent. Like, a lot of times in Yu-Gi-Oh! How it works is a lot of decks are just archetypes. So, like, for example, Sky Striker or, you know, Burning Abyss or Phantom Knights. They're all, like, usually the extra deck is tailored with those cards that are specific to that deck. But I tried to put together a list of ones that you see more often than the others. So yeah, it's kind of like this list is kind of like it's weird. You can add or remove cards. It's really arguable, debatable. First card, Psyframe Lord Omega. This card, originally a Psyframe card. It has a lot of broken effects. It's a generic level 8 synchro, so if you have a synchro deck that goes into level 8s, you definitely want to try this guy. His first effect, once per turn, you can banish him and any card in your opponent's hand, random card, until your next standby phase. So literally what he does is you summon him, you banish him, and then he runs away and you take a card from your opponent's hand until the next standby phase, and then they come back. And then the other effect is when he's in your graveyard, you can target a card in either graveyard, shuffle this card and that card in the graveyard. So you can essentially get rid of threats that are in the graveyard, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of threats in the graveyard. Also, you get rid of a card in their hand. Next one is Abyss Dweller. This is a generic rank 4 XYZ, and this card, what it does is, once per turn, you can detach a material from it, and your opponent cannot activate any card effects in the graveyard for the rest of the turn, which is crazy. In Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the recurring things is really broken effects are blanket effects. So effects that say your opponent cannot do this for the rest of the turn are really unfair. That's partially why Maxi is really unfair, because it's like it puts a blanket for the rest of the turn where your opponent draws cards when you special summon. So this card, similar vein, it negates any card in the graveyard, which is super devastating because a lot of decks is just function 100% on the graveyard. So like you can negate any burning effect, Burning Abyss, or like anything in the graveyard, for example. Next one is Zeus. You guys have seen this one a lot. This is definitely a staple in all XYZ decks. This card is if an XYZ monster battled this turn, you can summon this on top of the XYZ. And then the other effect is quick effect. You can attach 2 materials from the card, send all cards on the field to the graveyard. It sends, not destroys. So like a lot of cards that are immune to destruction just still get sent, which is insane. Also, it's a quick effect that it's not once per turn. So if you have 4 materials beneath them, you could use them twice. If your opponent tries to effect feather them, you can chain the effect again and then send everything off. And it has 3000, 3000. So super solid, really beefy monster that's staple. Next one's Almirage. This is just a generic link monster. The effect doesn't really come up, but it's just a way to trigger your effects. Like if you normal summon a monster with 1000 or less attack, let's say Sangan, and you want to search off of it, this is just like an option that allows you to enable that search by putting it into the graveyard forcefully. So it's in a lot of decks. Nightmare Phoenix, generic link 2. If it's link summoned, you discard a card and destroy any spell or trap your opponent controls, which is obviously really good generic removal. Verte Anaconda, it's this card, generic rank 2, that allows you to send an infusion spell from your deck to the graveyard to activate a card. So yeah, it's like you pay 2000 and it's really, really good. You can use it to do things like Shaddoll Fusion, Invocation, basically any fusion deck. But more importantly, there's a card coming out called Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer, which you guys probably already know. So you can send Fusion Destiny and it allows you to summon that monster. So it's really, really broken. Might get banned even. Nightmare Unicorn, similar to Nightmare Phoenix. Instead of a link 2, it's a link 3. So you can actually make this after you make Phoenix. And what it does is you discard a card, target any card on the field, and shuffle it in the deck. So it does any card instead of just spell and trap, which is really awesome. One thing you can do is you can try and Phoenix. If they Veiler, then you just make Unicorn with another monster in Phoenix, and then they have to respond to it again. Appaloosa, generic rank 4. Probably one of the better rank 4s. The original attack becomes 800 times the amount of link materials you use. So if you use 4 monsters, it's 3200. If you use 2, it's 1600. And then once per turn, you can make it lose 800 attack, and then it negates the monster effect that activates. So it's really, really good. It's also not once per turn. So like against Drytron, like it's literally game if they have no droplet or way to remove its attack, because you just negate everything. And then Access Code, probably arguably the best rank 4. Your opponent cannot respond to any of his effects. His first effect, when he's summoned, you gain attack due to the link monster that you used. So if you use a link 3, it gains 3000, goes to 5300 attack. And then the other effect is you can banish a link monster of 1 attribute from your graveyard to pop any card on the field, non-targeting destruction, and your opponent cannot respond. So if you have like Earth, Water, Wind, Fire in your graveyard, you can get 4 pops in 1 turn. Usually it's used to like OTK your opponent, but yeah, super good card. And yeah, that's about it for the extra deck staples. I'm making another video about like these other cards that you can use in your extra deck. So yeah, check it out and let me know if I missed anything.